this match, Pac did not go down without a fight. I mean, he took 4 belt shots to the face for this.
That was brutal, dude.
I thought the crowd was hot for this. It was such a funny comedic start to some of the funny moments for me. Was when Orange Cassidy was doing his kicks, and then Pac just kicks him straight in the nuts as hard as he can. I was laughing so hard. Man, this was an insane match. Some insane spots by all 3 guys. It's a lot of top rope stuff. So many false finishes. Don Callis on commentary was pure gold. That 300. This is Sparta boot that Kenny Omega gave Pac into the turnbuckle was absolutely brutal.
I know.
Oh my gosh, it was like this whiplash.
I know.
Oh man, I want to see a rematch of this because it was outstanding. These 3 guys, the crowd was hot for Orange Cassidy. Pac almost won, then Orange Cassidy tried to steal the victory. Then Orange Cassidy almost won, and then Don Callis pulled him out. So it's like everything was in play for this one, and it delivered as a co-main event should.
Without a doubt, this was my favorite match of the night, and that's even
favorite match of the night.
This was my favorite match of the night. I mean, honestly, dude, this was amazing. This was such a damn good match, man. I mean, like Pac's selling doesn't get I don't know if he gets enough credit for. He looks like he's getting murdered half the time. I mean, and when he got blasted by the 4 title belts, there was a point when he was like literally bent over. Like I looked insanely painful just the sell job of it. His offense is also on another tier. I was just fascinated by the way this match played out. All 3 of us picked different people. At first, I was gonna pick Kenny because I felt like the writing was on the wall. He's gonna be a long champion. But I had to go with my guy, and I thought that he held his own in this match. The story was great. Even when you go to like the early on segment of building up the hype in this one at the pay-per-view, the triple screens of all 3 of those guys on the screen. Yeah. Pac doing push-ups, Orange Cassidy just hanging out, kind of chilling. Like it played all into their characters, and the differences in their characters really it shaped the narrative of the match. And that was what was like, that is such a huge part of like, tell us a story. Don't just have it be this in-ring action like that, like, moves being done. Right. And I love how the unique aspects of these guys' characters played off of each other so well to tell this beautiful story of like, Kenny continued to like do his underhanded tactics. Pac was really, I felt like the brutal bastard. He showed out who he is in this match, busting out a 450 off the top. Yeah. You're seeing like, his drop gun shot, his drop kicks off the top where he hit like Orange Cassidy, then hit Kenny Omega, then hit them both 3 in a row. Like that was amazing. And Orange Cassidy like had those moments when at Bonds, you picked OC to win. And I felt like, as this story was going on, I was like, Bonds might be right. This might happen. This might actually happen. He had some real moments that stole the match. I feel like if you're a fan of AEW and you watch this one, it just gave you everything that you could hope for. It was just an absolutely. I loved this match from start to finish. I thought that it gave you great in-ring action, great humor, great false finishes. Great commentary. Yep. I mean, everything across the board. I can't say enough. I absolutely loved this match. Absolutely loved it.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I love that Kenny's getting go away heat too.
He is
legit. Like he is like they were chanting boring at him at the end of that match.
I didn't even notice that.
Oh, dude, the fans were when he was like hitting everybody with the belts. They were chanting boring at him, like, which is crazy to me. Like, wow, like he's getting that much hate, and that's awesome. And like he's so good at it.
For being so universally recognized as being so amazing, the fact that he's somehow found a way to get go away heat is pretty impressive
quick too.
Yeah.
He hasn't been the belt collector for long too, and he's getting that much heat. And so usually you have that on a Roman Reigns kind of title run where it's like, oh, it's the same thing over and over and over. But this was, I love that he came out with all the gold around him. That was just so classy. And then
really
Justin
cool.
Roberts, the pre-show announcements in the ring too. Not from North Carolina.
I knew you'd be popping for that one, no doubt. Yeah.
All of them were great. And then all of a sudden he announced Orange Cassidy goes and walks away really quick. Like he just comes in the center of the ring, gives a quick thumb up and walks away. Oh, that's why the whole beginning part was so hilarious to me. And then it started getting serious, but the comedic parts of this match were outstanding, and then followed by the comedic parts in the Stadium Stampede. Like my face was like hurting because I was laughing and smiling so much overall, and just excited because of the card that was put on. If you're, I don't know, this can stack up against any show. Like I told you on the phone, Crayfish, I said A+, AEW's best pay-per-view they've put out to date. Buckle up. And so what would you grade this pay-per-view, both of you guys, being a critique from an overall card? What would you grade it? Letter grade.
Go ahead, bud, because you didn't get a chance to talk about this match much.
Yeah, I want to hear your take on this more.
I got to give my feedback. I love this, and it's going to definitely inflate the grade a little bit based off of that. But Bonds, tell us a little bit about the match itself, what you thought, where and how it impacts the characters and the landscape moving forward, and then give us your grade, and then I'll jump in.
So I think the biggest takeaway from this match is that it showed that Orange Cassidy belongs in that upper tier. And that that's huge because, building up a baby face like him that the crowd was so behind.
So hot.
That's big. And they did that multiple times last night. They did that with Sammy. They did that with Jungle Boy. Like they did that, with 3 baby faces that they're like, okay, these guys are our guys.
Great call.
These are our guys that we built and they're going to be the future.
Great call.
And, I think that was really telling. And the fact that he didn't win, again, like I said before, I think that the reason I picked him was the reason why Jungle Boy got that opportunity as well. I think that was I picked the wrong match for that. But the sentiments were the same. Where, he got the pin. And Don Callis got in there and interfered. Like he had the pinfall win there. That was it.
Yep.
And they said it on commentary, like, oh man, like he stole the win from Orange Cassidy. Like that was his title at that point. And that whole match was just back and forth, constant, so many close calls, so many breakups, and just, oh my goodness. And then once Don started having a heart attack and got off the mic, I was like, oh well, here we go. Here's Don getting involved, and here's my boy get on there and probably costing me the bingo card. And he did. Thank you, Don Callis. I don't know if I can be a fan of yours anymore.
Yeah, I know. Brilliant though. It was still so
hilarious.
Funny.
And he again, man, he adds so much. I love how smart, and this is something that we haven't talked about, but I'm going to give them props for this. I think AEW is so smart about how they put on guest commentators. It's never for no reason. It always helps the story. And it's always elevating. It works so well, and it's like they have all these guys that they can put on there, and there's other companies that can't find anybody to be their main commentator. If you watch Monday show,
just shuffling through names,
just shuffle whoever you want. But AEW has people that are experienced and
we just got Mark Henry announced.
Yeah, Mark Henry's
sexual chocolate baby.
Oh my god! Like, and if you listen to Busted Open, I mean, the Busted Open is so good at what they do. You got Mark Henry added to the mix. It's just awesome. Like it's such a brilliant move. They know what they're doing, man. AEW really is smart with this
even
stuff.
Eye for talent. Everybody they pick, there isn't anybody that I can see on the roster where I'm questioning why they're there. And that's so good. You just know that they have their head together when it comes to building what they have. And again, this match was another example of that. Kenny kept that title, and I think that was probably the right call. That was probably the right call to keep that there, especially when the Young Bucks, retained as well. I thought that if the Bucks lost, then and I also picked the Bucks to lose. So that would have been interesting, where the elite go from being the elite to being the what.
Who are we anymore? Yeah, who are
Mm-hmm.
we anymore? Like, without, how can we call ourselves the elite? We all lost. That, like, the story of like madness going on. That's a really good point. Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So when that happened, it's like, oh man, like what was going through my head is, oh man, my bingo card's still.
Yeah.
Because I was like, but again, the match, it didn't matter because they sold me when the match started. I all that went away because, again, like you said, the longer the match went on, the more I was like, oh man, like I might have been right on here,
Mm-hmm.
because this was like, there was points where I was like, oh wow, like he got so many close, like 2.5, where I thought that was going to be a 3 count. Like 100%, I thought it was going to be a 3 count, and PAC as well.
When
like,
he had
all these
Brutalizer
guys,
locked in, yeah, I mean, there were moments where I was like, "Oh, this is my." I mean, like, I knew, I felt like the story going into this match was obvious. Like, PAC and Kenny are presented as these intense rivals who recognize each other as peers, and I loved seeing that aspect of it reinforced in the way this match played out. PAC brought the pain. Those guys, like, he does what he does best. I mean, he was able to do what he does best, and that's add an intensity to any match that he's in, any moment that he's in. PAC injects it with this anger and intensity that you can't put your finger on with many other talents in the world. He's very unique in that. And when you pivot, you kind of play off of that with a guy like Orange Cassidy, who brings so much humor, natural humor, which is very hard to do in wrestling. Like, actually be funny
without saying anything.
Yeah, it just worked. It worked so well, as Kenny kind of being the glue that held those two pieces of the two sides of the pendulum together. I felt like, and you to piggyback off your comment with the commentary, like, it's so important that our commentators are authentic and bring credibility to the product. And so many of these guys automatically have that credibility with lifelong wrestling fans. Tony Schiavone, JR, Taz, Paul White, now Mark Henry, Don Callis. You're naming guys that we've seen be integral parts of professional wrestling for a long period of time. That immediately gives credibility. And the way that this match played out, you talked about it, Bonds, one of the most iconic moments of this whole pay-per-view, which was filled with jaw-dropping moments, was when Don Callis lost his shit at the end of that match and felt like oh no, he's gonna lose, and it just felt genuine and authentic. Throwing his mic off, rushing from the commentator's booth, having all 4 of those belts to play off of what SPD talked about with Kenny Omega's entrance, having all those belts, and then Kenny blasting PAC, and even as the biggest diehard PAC fan on the planet, to have your guy lose a match like that after getting hit in the face 4 times with championship belts, it doesn't hurt him. Nobody, and this is one of those rare moments where it's like nobody came out looking worse for the wear. All these characters came out looking better. Orange Cassidy, as Bonds pointed out, not only was presented as a peer, but with the pop and the crowd reaction that he was getting, there's some real promise of like, wow, this guy could carry a program. This guy could be a guy who could be a top tier star. And it just, everybody across the board looked great in this one. I thought this, again, SPD, this was